Well, since I'm not catching anything, I might as well go over my Swimbait arsenal, which is one of the most asked questions to me. What line or what reel and what rod should I use for different applications? So let's start with my soft Swimbait setup. It's a Canyon rod with a Phenix blank, up to 8 ounce fast action, 8 foot, spiral up to the right. I have the old discontinued Garcia Ambassadeur record 6600. I spool that with 25-pound Seaguar AbrazX. That's just my go-to fluorocarbon. This rod has a very stout backbone, so I can really drive that hook in for a bait like a battle shad. Reel is one of the smoothest reels I've ever used. Yeah, so that's my soft Swimbait setup. The second Swimbait setup that I want to go over is my wide glide bait setup. It's a low down custom, extra heavy, slow taper. I paired that up with my Shimano Tranx 300 HG. The reason being is because I do a lot of reel pops, and with wide glide bait, I can pick up the slack real quick. I spooled that up with 25-pound Pline CXX, and that is my wide glide bait setup. The next setup that I want to go over is almost identical as my wide glide bait setup, but this is, I would say, short glide bait setup along with wake bait, like MS Slammer or Rat. It's the same blank as my previous setup. It's a low down custom, extra heavy, up to 8 ounce, slow taper. All of my rods are 8 foot because I fish off of a kayak a lot, and it's just easier for me to land the fish with an 8 foot rod rather than a 8.6 or a 9 foot rod. For this one, I paired the rod with Daiwa Ryoga Shrapnel. It's a 6.2 to 1. I don't need to pick up as much slack as with Debs 250, so that's why I go with the 6.2 to 1. I mainly throw HPH, Hinkle Shad, Rat, MS Slammer on this particular setup. The line is identical as well. It's a Pline CXX 25-pound, and that's my short glide bait setup. The last Swimbait setup that I want to go over today is my giant glide bait setup. It's a low down custom, extra heavy, slow taper, 8 foot. It can throw up to, I believe, 14 or 15 ounce. So I throw the mother mostly on this, Hinkle Trout, Hero Trout. I pair that up with 400 HG Tranx Shimano, 30-pound Pline CXX. Yeah, again, I went with the higher gear ratio, 7.6 to 1, so that I can pick up a lot of slack, because giant glide bait tends to have a super wide glide, and I like to feel the bait, and so when a fish strikes, I'm right there with the hook set. And that's my giant glide bait setup. While I'm on my kayak, I might as well go over the setup that I have going on right here. It's a Hobie Pro Angler 12. I have a depth finder right here. It's a Garmin 73 SV, so I have a side scan, down scan, along with traditional sonar and a map. I have the transducer set up so that it's to the side of my kayak so that I can video game during tournaments. I can see my bait and the fish. I can carry comfortably 8 rods on this. As you can see, I have a 4 horizontal rod holder, and in the back I have the Hobie crate, which can hold another 4 rods comfortably. I've put the Boonedox landing gear there so that I can take the kayak in and out of the lake easily. And I always have my net right here so that when I hook a fish I can just grab it and scoop it up. So that's it. This is a 2017 model, so it has the reverse pedal drive. Love it. Very stable. I'm standing on it. No issue. Alright, see you guys.